Good morning, Alamance Presbyterian Church. This is your Associate Pastor, Jess. Happy Holy Week. I hope that you're finding health and wellness and wholeness and rest as you walk through this journey with us and with Jesus to the cross and to Easter beyond the cross. A lot of us feel like this is our cross moment and are being confronted with the realities of death in ways that we never could have anticipated. And in moments like that, it's important to mourn, it's important to grieve, but it's also important to remember what's on the other side of that, and that's resurrection. And the promise of resurrection, I have never encountered anywhere more beautifully and more poetically than in a garden. So let's go check out mine. So here we are in my beautiful garden. We've got some garlic growing here. This top part is called the scape. Here we've got some beautiful spinach. And here we have my pride and joy. I've been eating this a lot during the pandemic. This is cilantro. It's wonderfully fragrant and really, really good. I've been eating a lot of cilantro. And behind me you can see tomatoes that Mr. Danny brought for me. And also behind that, you'll see some cover crops, some ground cover. And none of this beautiful life would be possible without death. And that's one of the reasons why gardens are such an apt metaphor for resurrection. All of this produce is only possible because of this, right? This is just dead leaves. But these dead leaves provide a ground cover and they feed the soil so that the soil can produce new life. So even though it's sad when we lose our leaves every year, even though it's sad when we experience death, that death has the potential to lead to growth, to lead to new life in ways we could never expect or imagine. Now, church, I know what you're thinking. There's our associate pastor being a crazy hippie again, trying to link resurrection and soil, even though they don't have anything in common. But I have proof of what I claim. Stay with me. Here is some soil that I removed from outside of my garden. This is just kind of your average stuff. It hasn't had any nutrients put into it. It hasn't had any ground cover. This is just kind of what you get. Whereas this is the soil in my garden. The only thing that's really been added there is dead leaves. And those dead leaves have formed a cover that's allowed this soil to absorb water. As they've broken down, they've provided nutrients. There have been microbes that have been living in this soil that have given it this rich, beautiful texture so that it's moist and falls easily through your hands instead of this like weird, crusty, dry, hard to break stuff. It's why it's so dark, is because it has a ton of organic material that's in it. And this soil that's experienced death has encountered new life. So in these next few days, as we move forward in Holy Week, as we move towards the cross, not only this week, but in this season of pandemic in our lives, when so many of us are losing so much, whether it's jobs, whether it's family members to illness, whether it's expectations and hopes and dreams, whether it's plans that have gotten derailed or canceled. As we mourn all those things, let's always remember the resurrection hope that through death, all death, comes new life, that through death comes growth and hope, even in our moments of despair. We are an Easter people, Alamance Presbyterian Church. And even though we grieve in the knowledge that a resurrection is on the horizon, and that we can trust that Jesus Christ, Emmanuel, is with us now and will remain with us in the days to come. I love you, church. I miss you, church. And I look forward to the Easter day when we can once again roll away the stone of this pandemic and spend time with one another, face to face, celebrating the reality of that resurrection promise. I'll see you next week, friends.